why don't we get a biblical definition of what a giant is? Because a lot of people are thinking Jack and the Beanstalk. That is not what the Bible teaches. Because again, let the Bible define the Bible. Go by what the Bible actually says. The Bible gives us the height of a giant in the Bible, Goliath. Goliath is considered a giant. He's one of the remnant of the giants. He's one of those that remained of the giants. He's the son of the giant. And he was approximately what? Between 9 foot 6 inches tall. Exactly. And you know what? That's not some crazy Jack and the Beanstalk, Gulliver's Travels type of a giant, is it? 9 foot 6 inches tall approximately. That is pretty reasonable of a height, because you know what? There are even people in modern times that have reached that height. There have been people that have reached heights of 10, 11 feet tall. So we have Goliath on one hand, who is one who was less than 10 feet tall. But look, if somebody walked in here that was almost 10 feet tall, you would consider them a giant. Right. Because look, I've seen some people of just an incredible height. They're so tall, they're giant. And you're like, how tall are you? And they're like 6'10". Right? Yeah. Think about it. I mean, look, if you've ever been confronted with somebody who's 7 feet tall, that is no joke. You say, oh, it's only 1 foot taller. That, I don't know, there's something about that foot. It makes a big difference. It makes a really big difference. I mean, does anybody know how tall Pastor Aaron Thompson is? 6'8". 6'8". The guy's huge. He's giant. I mean, I feel like a grasshopper in his height. Whenever I get my photo taken with him, it makes me look like a child. Like I'm a small child next to him. So one time he said, okay, I said, hey, I'll take a picture with you as long as you stoop down to my level. He stooped way down and he's still several inches taller than me, squatting down. And he's only 6'8". Let's add another foot to that height. Now add another foot. Now add another foot. You're going to call that a giant if you're confronted with that. Okay, that is a giant. That is someone who's huge. Because here's the thing about tall people too. They don't just stay the same proportion everywhere else and just get taller. They're not just like this long snake-like person. Obviously, they're going to have shoulders and they're going to have arms and legs of commensurate size to their height. It's all going to be proportional. So these guys are huge. And then, of course, we have another giant mentioned in the Bible, Og, the king of Bashan. And it doesn't give us his height, but it talks about his bed. That he has a bed, and I believe the bed is like 13 feet long or something. So obviously he's not hanging off the edge of this bed. Obviously the bed's going to be longer than him, not shorter than him. So those two heights tell us that when we're talking about a giant, we're talking about somebody who's approximately 10 feet tall. That's what we're talking about. Now in foolish, fake scriptures like the so-called Book of Enoch, it talks about giants being 450 feet tall. That's just ridiculous. I mean, that's just stupid. You know, it's like, oh man, I feel bad for these daughters of men that have to give birth to that baby. You know, this is like something in the Weekly World News, you know, 600-pound baby or something. It's like, you know, put the Weekly World News right between the Book of Enoch and the Book of Jasher and all these other fake scriptures, okay? Because it's bogus, all right? Giants are just talking about huge, mighty warriors. And look, one giant who's 9 foot 6 inches tall, you know, he had the whole nation of Israel scared. They don't want to face off with him. They're all hiding for 40 days straight. Only when David shows up does Goliath have a challenger. Okay, so you can see how these men are powerful men in the earth. There are giants, there are these mighty men, powerful men, but no aliens, no UFOs, and no hybridized humans married to angels. And not only that, if that was the issue, then pray tell me this. Why are there still giants? If God's whole point in flooding the earth is to wipe out the giants or wipe out these freaks of nature, then why are there still giants after the flood? Explain that, right? Why are there still giants after the flood? That makes no... Like God's just going to wipe out all of mankind, but then he just allows that to get on the ark anyway, or he just allows it to happen again or something. It makes no sense, all right? And if it happened back then, why wouldn't it be happening today? There's just so many holes in that story, it's not even funny.